Yeah. So we're going to change the damping factor. So that's polar opposite. So you had max damping factor before, or is this?
No, I had 0 damping.
Okay.
Well, the highest possible damping factor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So in other words, it's literally bypassed the damping factor mechanism.
Well, yeah, you could start telling as you were actually turning it with the bass notes. A little softer. Probably about midway through, let's see.
That's the lowest damping factor.
Yeah, I could tell people would like this because on certain music you may want one style versus another. EDM, you might want to hire.
In a sense, this is actually kind of a good introduction for C312 if we listen to it later. Because
Is that right? The same thing? Okay.
Well, same thing. It's done. It's not damping factor. It's gain stages that simulate tubes and the ability to mix the tube sounds with solid state sounds.
Yeah, I'll have to watch those videos a little more.
I think that's actually there. That halfway settings goes.
Yeah, I like the presence of this for this song. This is where I think it suits the song for me. Really cool.
Difference, and then we'll go back and do it again, and you
Okay.
can comment on it.
Yeah.
Different music? Do you care?
No. I always like to. One of the reasons I go to these shows is to find new stuff, you know. So.
Let me see here. See, one of the, it's my favorite, though. It's not anybody else's favorite. You know what? Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do. Because sometimes this is the better way to demo things.
Start with it in.
Start with it in, and then pull it out.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times you're biased to whatever the next thing is to be better. So I like to do that too.
Because you really, actually, it's really more apparent when you take something out. Because then you either, you miss it right away, or you don't.
Yeah. So we're listening to one of the vintage Technics with the power capacitor pack upgrade.
Like, is your man faithful? What time does it get? but you never have a clue. Somebody's breaking every rule, but it's always cool. Yes, it is. But you know that everybody's somebody's fool. Hear me now. Skip the drama and use common sense. You don't have love if you don't have patience. He's out in the street, yeah, but don't forget my twice a week and that almighty paycheck. See, I don't even sweat it. I get so much happiness if I just put up with a little bit of bullshit. A little bit of my man's sweet love is a whole better than none of it. Don't you know everybody's somebody's fool sometimes? You want somebody running game, but you never have a clue. No, you don't. Somebody's breaking every rule, but it's always cool. But yeah. Don't you know everybody's somebody's fool?
Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, I was expecting it to be more on the bass side, but her voice immediately becomes more opaque and two-dimensional and less refined. So
Because somebody always takes care of
I could live with the bass either way, but her voice changing that drastically.
whatever you choose to do is fine. Yes, it is. 'Cause in my heart I believe all mine. 'Cause you think I can't see it, doesn't mean that I'm blind. Don't you know that everybody's somebody's fool? Baby, how can you do it?
Yeah, that's really good.
Somebody running game, but you never
Vintage music with vintage components,
do it now.
modern upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, so you're offering, if people have vintage, you do this upgrade for them?
Yep.
And so what would the upgrade roughly run?
Translated to US dollars, right?
The installation of the jack is approximately $200 US. And FCF, there are 3 levels of FCF. FCF 1, it's 1100 US
1100
approximately.
US,
Yeah.
And
So.
FCF 2, it's 1850. FCF 3 is 26 or 27.
So yeah. And you've been able to pick these up for under $100 or less.
That one was just over $100.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
$3.99 at the.
So that would be very competitive with even the, your initial upgrade capacitor pack,
Yeah.
just giving people a taste of high-end sound with a vintage component look. Everything else, if everything else you bought is still working, you could still use it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that was extremely listenable, extremely high quality, and with the pack in, her voice was very refined, not opaque,
Yep.
and there's a continuity, I think, that goes along with, I call it refinement or continuity to the sound. It doesn't have a choppiness to it or a stereo typical sound. It sounds more real. So that's what I think is one of the benefits.
There's a real dimensionality, increased dimensionality and vibrancy to the way it sounds, for sure.
Yeah, it seemed like immediately she would push back in 2D versus 3D, refined. So, we're talking about nuances here, but this is the kind of stuff as audiophiles you want, and this ability to upgrade at that kind of modest cost and have this kind of vintage look. Yeah, you're one of the few dealers doing this, and you're one of the few people that will actually modify these things at a reasonable cost. So yeah, kudos to you on that. I think obviously it's a niche market. People that, I mean, I buy toys that I played with, and I'll spend good money if I can get, an Intellivision or Ataris from back then or whatever, GI Joes. Having one of these would be killer with an upgrade that would fool many people,
And we have been also doing this FCF upgrade to all the new equipment.
Okay.
Modern equipment
as well. But to me, if you can get modern quality sound, which we just heard, that is certainly audiophile acceptable level with this kind of vintage appeal, super cool to me. So this is the kind of stuff I like to showcase on the channel, stuff that you can't see anywhere else, you can't do anywhere else, and fits, at least my taste profile, and I think many others too. So,
and also I just want to add that FCF has basically have 4 voltage level: 35, 50, 63, and 80, and we do 100 volt. And if your vintage gear is decided permanently quit, you find another piece that have a suitable voltage, you can actually use that FCF unit on another piece.
Okay, yeah, you can use that.
It's
yeah.
not a unique matching, so it can use on another piece that have a similar voltage rail.
Okay, yeah. So if your $100 piece doesn't last that long, because of whatever age, you can replace that easy, keep the upgrade, and do another $200. So yeah, this is great stuff. Glad I got a chance to come out here and listen before the show. Already the highlight of the trip. So appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang, breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, 'cause I've been convicted of crime. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. I committed crime, Lord, I need it. Crime of being hungry and poor. Left the grocery store, man, a bleeding when they caught me robbing a store. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. Judges say 5 years of hard labor on the chain gang, you gonna go. Heard the judge say 5 years of labor. Heard my woman scream, Lord, hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go.
Okay, so you've got a baseline sound, idea of the sound now. Your preference, would you like me to stop and make adjustments and play another segment of music, or would you like me to adjust on the fly?
What I'd like to do is make an adjustment. Let's start from the beginning again.
So that's kind of a middle position. I'm going to turn it more into a solid stand amplifier now.
All right.
I'm guessing a bit with the volume control, and that the only problem is that you have to be very, very careful manipulating the volume controls, because when the volume goes up and down, you can mistake that for tonal quality changes as opposed to just a volume change.
So changing some of those other dials changes the gains.
Yes.
So that's why you got to adjust the dial.
Yeah, there's 3 gain stages here. There's a warm control, a tube simulator control, and a solid state control.
Okay.
And the way this works is that this volume, this gain stage adjusts and hits this gain stage, and there's kind of there's a range of possible tube sounds that you can get.
Okay.
Right. The amount of gain that hits this sort of determines what type of tube it sounds like and how warm it is and how sparkly it is. And it takes a little bit of practice to fiddle around and figure out what exactly you're creating, and then you're balancing these 2 tube stages off against a solid state gain stage here.
Okay.
Right. So the trick is to get the tube sound you want here, balance it off with as much solid state, and then finally adjustments. So what I've done is I've significantly reduced the tube sound. So we'll see what this gets us now. Now I'm going to give you the volume control here, so you can manipulate that. 1 is up, 2 is down. Let's go back to the beginning and see what we get.
Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang, breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, 'cause I've been convicted of crime. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. I committed crime, Lord, I need it. Crime of being hungry and poor. Left the grocery store, man, a bleeding when they caught me robbing a store. Hold it steady right there while I hit it.
Okay, we can change it on the fly.
Shall we go to the tube extreme now?
Yeah, let's do the extreme too.
So terribly long to go. Judges say 5 years of hard labor on the chain gang, you gonna go. Heard the judge say 5 years of labor. Heard my woman scream, Lordy no. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. My sweet honey baby, wanna break this chain off and run. Wanna lay down somewhere shaded. Lord, sure it's hot in the sun. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Well, reckon that ought to get it. Been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. Oh, been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. Said I've been working, but I still got so terribly long to go. Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang, breaking rocks and serving my time.
Yes, that's nice. For me, if I'm critically listening, I'm probably liking the solid state better. But I think, are you adding some kind of harmonic distortion with the two stage? Is that kind of what it's doing, or
No,
none?
no. It's if you actually try to measure it, you probably won't able to measure any difference.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Actually,
Yeah.
people have tried to measure it.
Yeah.
It measures
I mean, yeah, it just seemed a little more romantic sounding at the tube. Not a big difference, drastic. I think both are very attractive. I was very impressed with the full solid state, to be honest, for critical listening. Um, but I definitely think certainly that variability is great for different types of speakers. You know, that's where so many speakers are voiced in a room not like yours or not to your ears.
Yeah.
And some of them put in intentionally too hot tweeters. They intentionally put stuff high, and that is not for everybody,
No.
you know? And so having that a little bit of adjustment.
And that's what I found historically. I mean, this isn't the first preamplifier certainly that Angela Gilbert had made that's got this type of control. There was the first one I came across was the BC 307. It was a blue circle. It was
Okay.
a 6SN7 tube and a 6922 tube and
Okay.
a solid state. And that that's the predecessor of the C18, which is essentially the same thing but with better power supply and more advanced gain stages inside. The way this seems to work is you get it once you get it set up for your room and your speakers and your own listening priorities. It's kind of a set and forget thing, and so at that point, a lot of people ask the question, "Well, then I don't really need it if I'm just going to set it up one way." But the ability to set it up that way is unique and a really powerful tool.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is good. You can set it, forget it. But when you change your speakers,
Or
that's,
change your room.
yeah,
Or change
that's,
your power.
that's where I see the advantages. Yeah, I probably would keep it, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
For me, I like the full solid state sound. Maybe I'd play in between where we were.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't that drastic where either one was unlistened. You know, like,
Yeah.
you weren't like, you know, at certain parts of the song, I don't think I could tell any difference, but in certain parts, it was more evident. But I think that this is great for, again, you not having to mix and match gear anymore.
Right.
You can like get your speaker you want, and then your other component can kind of help you dial it in with that. Now, 3 different buttons, 3 different dials. So there's 2 that have to do with the tube state, like, what's the theory behind that versus 1?
There is a tube simulator knob,
Yeah.
and there's a warm knobs, and the amount of warm energy hit into the tube simulator stage would actually cause the difference of the tube warmth.
Is that right? Okay.
So that's the theory behind it, but there's a lot more in the technical point of view.
So it's basically 2 different circuitries, but then you're controlling how one is being powered or something different.
Yes, on
Okay.
top of the
On
solid
top
state
of the 2
circuitry.
different
So
types.
that's why you can actually turn down the tube only using the solid state. So you can turn down the tube completely and
Right.
just using the solid state.
So that's pretty innovative. I don't think anybody else is doing that.
Not in home audio.
No. So that's cool. No, again, like I say, is like we can buy great pieces. This piece would be great just on its own, whatever you probably fixed it at. But that's what you have to live with most all products. But when you can get it home and further dial it in, not only is it fun, just, you know, I think audiophiles, that's part of things we like. True audiophiles, not the ones that are bragging rights audiophiles, but true audiophiles, I think they enjoy that. You know, this is the ability to really tweak things. But then also, if you change out your speakers, change your room, change your taste, listening position, all kinds of things, this is the kind of control I like. And, you know, otherwise you'd have to use DSP or other things to get that kind of dialing in. So,
And it's also you can also see that as part of the room acoustic. Instead of putting a lot of things around,
Yeah.
you might just turn up a little bit and then put less things around.
no, exactly. Yeah, and you're not drastically turning it like some of these. If you put these all the way up or all the way down,
Yep.
you're going to have unlistenable.
Yep.
We're not, no matter where you fit on the knob, it's going to be listenable and very good. It's just a matter of nuance of where your perfect taste profile is. So that's really cool. Yeah. So once again, thanks for the demos and the walkthrough, and super excited to see what you come up with the amp, which we may make into a stereo too instead of a mono. But we'll leave that for a separate video soon
I'm
to
not
come.
saying anything.
All right. Thanks, George. Thanks, Angela Gilbert.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.